Welcome back to Maverick's Kitchen, where this week we are figuring out how to recreate the Noble Pursuit from Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. This specialty drink from the Gerudo Warrior tribe was first introduced in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild during a side quest, The Perfect Drink. Not much is known about the drink outside of a few ingredients, including hydromelons, palm fruit, volt fruit, and a whole lot of ice. To me, that sounds like a refreshing smoothie, but since it's served in a canteen, I'll be making both a smoothie and a specialty cocktail. The release of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity has been highly anticipated after the massive success of Breath of the Wild. As the earlier game's prequel, Age of Calamity finally gives us a chance to dive deep into the lore of the world and learn about events that led up to the destruction of Hyrule. In the style of all other warrior games, this hack-and-slash adventure gives Link and his pals the chance to take on wave after wave of enemies, beating up on the big baddies sent their way by Ganon's evil forces. And to top it off, Age of Calamity has given us our first look at the Gerudo's Noble Pursuit, an icy, fruity drink that will sate the thirst of any warrior. Now, the fruits from Age of Calamity are not of our world, but in-game descriptions of this tropical drink give us a quick look at the ingredient list. From that, we will be using watermelons in place of hydromelons, dragon fruit to replace volt fruit, and coconuts for palm fruit. Starting with one small to medium-sized watermelon, we are quickly working to chop up our fruit into 1 to 1.5 inch cubes. I'm planning on making a frozen smoothie, and by chopping and freezing our fruit, we will be able to avoid using ice, which is the #1 culprit of smoothie separation. Once our watermelon is all chopped up, we're placing all of the bits into a large plastic bag, which is then going into the freezer for at least 1 hour up to overnight. Next up, we need to tend to the dragon fruit component of this drink. This odd fruit is actually called a pitaya and comes in both white and red variants. Grown on a cactus and sporting an exterior that resembles the scales of a dragon, this fruit was the clear inspiration for our in-game volt fruit. By cutting the fruit in half and putting a shallow score down one side, I am able to peel off the thick red skin. While most of the skin is fully edible, I wanted to remove it from our smoothie due to its high fiber content. I'm then cutting up the fruit into 1 inch cubes before placing them in a plastic bag and into the freezer alongside our watermelon. Once all of our fruit is nice and frozen, we're ready to blend up a smoothie. Feel free to use any amounts that you would like to tailor this smoothie to your specific taste. I'm starting with 4 large handfuls, or about 1.5 cups of our watermelon cubes, followed by 1 full cubed and frozen dragon fruit. To freshen up this drink, I'm adding 5 or 6 leaves of mint. Then I'm adding 1/2 cup of plain Greek yogurt, which will both help keep our smoothie from separating and give the smoothie a creamier texture. Finally, for our palm fruit substitute, I'm using 2 tablespoons of coconut cream and approximately 2 tablespoons of golden honey. Then blend everything together for 20 to 30 seconds until completely smooth and no chunks of smoothie remain before pouring into an appropriately tropical glass. As a quick garnish, I'm grabbing a sprig of mint leaves. By clapping the leaves, we release some of the plant's oils, which will help this drink smell strongly of mint. To finish this off, I'll be drinking through a metal straw, and there you go, a complete Noble Pursuit smoothie. This smoothie is perfectly balanced and absolutely delicious. Freezing the fruit over using ice is a huge improvement because there are no floating shards of ice to break up the smooth texture of the drink. And the mint brings in a subtle freshness that makes it easy to drink a whole cup in a single sitting. Oh, no, brain freeze. Oh man, this is frosty and hard not to drink quickly, but nothing is going to stop me from going back for more. Now, we know that the Gerudo bartender told Link that he wasn't old enough to drink at the canteen, which makes me think that the true version of this drink is actually quite alcoholic. Therefore, we're going to create a delicious fruit cocktail. First up, we're making a nothing added watermelon juice. This is quite simple, but will take some time. Start by chopping up a small watermelon into chunks to blend. The size of these chunks does not matter as long as they can fit into your blender. Then blend the watermelon for about 30 seconds until completely smooth. Now comes the time-consuming part of this process, filtering out anything that isn't pure juice. I used a fine mesh strainer first to collect the majority of the pulp and any small seeds left behind. Make sure to use a spoon near the end of the process to press out as much juice as possible. Next up, I used a coffee filter to get even more of the remaining pulp out. Since this is going into a cocktail, having our fruit juice as clear as possible will lead to a much nicer looking drink. You may need to use multiple coffee filters as the porous filter can get clogged quite quickly. Additionally, you can filter this juice a second or even third time to get it as clear as possible. While that strains, we're going to get started on our dragon fruit component. Dragon fruit has a very subtle flavor, and I felt it would shine in an infused simple syrup. This time I am removing only the outermost layer of our dragon fruit skin, as the red portion of this fruit retains a lot of flavor. I'm quickly chopping up the dragon fruit into 1-inch chunks and placing them into a small saucepan. Then I'm adding a full cup of sugar, followed by an equal amount, also 1 cup, of tap water. Everything is going over a medium heat for a few minutes until lightly simmering and all of the sugar is completely dissolved. I'm then continuing the simmer at a medium-low heat for up to 25 minutes until the fruit is very soft and the liquid in the saucepan has turned a light pink color. The syrup is now fully infused, but it is still quite hot, so I'm letting it sit for a few minutes before pouring it through a fine mesh strainer and then bottling to let cool to room temperature. Now that we've gotten all of our fruits taken care of, it's time to assemble our cocktail in a large cobbler shaker over ice. First in is 3 ounces of coconut rum. This takes care of our palm fruit component as well as boosting the tropical nature of this cocktail. I'm then adding 1 ounce of our dragon fruit infused simple syrup. You can adjust the amount of the syrup depending on how sweet you would like your cocktail. Finally, I'm adding our filtered watermelon juice. I used around 2.5 ounces here. Top and shake well until the outside of the shaker is well frosted. Then double strain into a cocktail glass to remove any slivers of ice. And finally, garnish with a very decorative skewer of dragon fruit balls. Cheers! This cocktail ended up a delicate mixture of some very tropical flavors and would certainly quench the thirst of any hardy desert warrior. I hope you'll try it out for yourself and let me know in the comments down below if you liked the smoothie or cocktail version better. And if you liked the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell to see when new recipes are posted. Thank you for checking out my version of the Noble Pursuit from Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. If you'd like to see the upcoming games for future recipes, check out my Twitch channel in the link below. I stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Or if you're all in on the food, check out my Instagram, also linked below, where I post pictures of all of my kitchen experiments. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time.